Hi, it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and I'm here today to share my brand new Happy Go Lucky 2 quilt pattern with our Laguna Sunrise fabrics. I am so excited about this quilt. I love my original Happy Go Lucky quilt, but I've always had it in the back of my mind to do another version that's more beginner friendly and that also is super stash and scrap friendly. So I'm excited to share all the things about the new Happy Go Lucky 2 quilt pattern with you today. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's talk about Happy Go Lucky 2. As I mentioned earlier, I have another quilt called Happy Go Lucky that I designed with our Simply Delightful Basics collection. And it's been a great quilt, but it is set on point. So that makes it a little bit more difficult for some people who don't like to do on-point quilts. It's a great scrap quilt and stash quilt, and I've seen lots and lots of gorgeous versions of that quilt. But I wanted to do something that was straight set, but that was still really scrap friendly and really beginner friendly. And so this is Happy Go Lucky 2, and it actually kind of uses the same blocks as the original quilt. The original quilt alternated churn dashes, 9 patches, and then had a sprinkling of sawtooth stars. So in this quilt, I've got churn dashes, a sprinkling of sawtooth stars, but then I added 16 patches instead of the 9 patches. I thought it just kind of went together with a bigger block size and with a straight set quilt. So this quilt is large. It finishes at 75.5 by 88.5. It is fat quarter friendly, but as I mentioned, you're going to want to use this for your go-to scrap busting quilt. I also think it would be super fun in smaller sizes. A 12 block version would be such a fun little lap quilt. A 9 block version would be a great baby quilt. So many options with this pattern. So the pattern is written so that it's extra scrap friendly to where you do piece the 16 patch with squares. However, there is a note in the pattern because what I did was I cut out all of my pieces for my churn dash blocks and my sawtooth star blocks, and then I cut everything else into strips and used strip piecing for my patchwork. So I saved a ton of time. I made all of the patchwork blocks lickety-split by doing that. And I feel like I still had to use a few squares here and there just to make sure that I got all of the fabrics in that I wanted, but the majority of them were put together with strip piecing. So the quilting on this is from Marion Bott. It's an all-over digital pattern. She did a beautiful job. I wanted to show the border that I used is the triple floral with the aqua background and the flowers in white, teal, and red. And then I used our really busy red print for the binding. I just thought that really pulled out the red, and actually there's some teal in there too, so it pulls out the teal and the white. For backing, I used, this is probably my favorite print in the entire collection. Honestly, I probably would have backed every single quilt in this fabric if I could have gotten that much yardage. I love, love, love this print. And it's just so happy and so fun, and it has all of the colors. It has, you know, the red and the coral and the orchid and the green and the dark, both shades of blue. It's just my go-to favorite print. I just have to buy a whole bolt of this when I can. You'll also notice that I used it in some of the churn dash centers. I just tried to do all different things. I tried to use light prints in the churn dash centers. I did that for a lot of them, but let me pull this one up as well. And you'll see for this one, I used a dark print for that churn dash center. So it's really just whatever you want to do. It's just super scrappy and fun. And a lot of times I alternated half square triangles and strip set pieces for those churn dashes. But sometimes I didn't. You can just see This green one, I just used the same print throughout. So you just have so many different options. And I did go with the tone on tone for my sashing. And to try to kind of unify it, I did use just one print for my little cornerstones. So again, this is definitely a beginner-friendly quilt. It is a stash busting quilt. In fact, when I reprint the pattern covers, I'm gonna put a little bubble on the front that says, you know, stash buster or scrap buster, because I really feel like this is what I'll use this for in the future. Okay, that's it for the Happy Go Lucky 2 quilt pattern in our beautiful new Laguna Sunrise fabrics. The fabrics are shipping to stores in September of 2024. If you love them, be sure to tell your favorite quilt shops now that you would love for them to order them to make sure that you can get them. All of the details for the pattern are in the description below, and if you liked today's video, please share it with a friend, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.